No harvest update this week because this is our current weather. We're at an inch of rain this weekend, and this is the current condition of our combine. This is all the corn that we've got off, and now it's sitting here with no hydraulic charge pressure. So that's a really fun problem that we get to work on solving this week, so that hopefully we can get back to harvest. It didn't even feel like we started on harvest. We got 2,000 bushel, ran and dried, and that was it. So yay. I do want to talk about something else though, since I don't have like a great harvest video this week. So hold on. A while ago, I made a video about mental health and our decision to leave the dairy industry. I posted it privately accidentally, so I will see if I can link it here. I got a couple really nice comments on it, just regarding like, thank you for sharing. A couple other people shared their stories on it, on walking through similar paths, and I think it's a really hard topic to talk about, and also one that we as farmers need to talk about. So to summarize that like 30-minute video, we have been out of the dairy industry for 16 months now. We sold out last June. The main driver, while there were many factors that went into it, the main driver was that I hit a point where I no longer felt like I could show up as a good mom and a good dairy farmer, and I did not like the job I was doing as either one. Like, I didn't feel like I could do either one well. I was not doing either one really well. I was doing both of them very mediocrely, and I did not want that to be my kids' entire childhood, where they had a mediocre mom who was just mediocre. They deserve more than that. So knowing that I needed to find a way to show up more for them, it was easier for us to leave the dairy industry than to try to hire managers, and all of the other factors that also played into leaving the dairy industry just made like hiring someone to replace a lot of my work not what we wanted to do long term for our farm. So we sold the dairy, and it was a very it felt like a very God move for us, because when I was still on the fence, my dad was very already like committed, this is what we're doing. I was still just emotionally on the fence, because that had been my entire career, my entire life basically felt like it was those cows. When I was still on the fence, I was working on, trying to get stuff lined up, and within a week of each other, we had an offer on all of our robot equipment and like bulk tank, everything, the whole package deal to one person, and an offer on the cows that lined up date-wise. And then we were also able to sell, because those two offers ended up putting us out of the industry a couple months before we had initially planned. So those lined up with some extra feed, and we were able to sell that extra feed too. Like, everything just worked out very well. And so it was what I needed to make the peace with the decision, because everything just lined up, and it was truly like what you could tell it was what was meant to be for us, because of how well everything fell into place. But so 16 months out, like, frequently asked questions I get from people who knew me, know us, about like what the farm looks like now versus then. The number one question that I get asked is, do I miss my cows? Yes, I will always miss my cows. The cows are why I fell in love with the agriculture industry, plain and simple. Milking cows in the mornings with my grandpa as a teenager was what showed me the love for the industry. That's what brought me home. I would not be here farming if it hadn't have been for the cows and for the opportunity to come home for those cows. So yes, I miss my cows. I miss calving because that was one of my favorite things, helping out somebody calf. I miss the daily touch of the cows. So I miss them, but I do not miss dairy farming. Okay, two totally different questions. And that's what most people, when they say, do you miss the cows? They want to know if I miss the farm. I don't miss dairy farming. Every morning I get up, I get to have my cup of coffee, and I get to be a present mom with my children. There is no 18 things waiting for me outside that door. It is truly, I get up and I get to be here for my kids in a way that I was not before, and in a way that they need me. Our mornings are entirely different now than they were before we sold the cows, and that was a really big step. So that, the freedom of not having to be here every day, and I'm still here every day, but like, it's different. If you had cows and now you don't have cows, you understand the difference. I don't miss that. I don't miss the constant bills. We had a neighbor tell us like, oh, when I stopped milking my cows, I quit having to get my mail every day because the bills just disappeared. Okay, but it really feels like that. Like, we thought it was a joke. No, really, like, it feels like your bills are gone. Obviously, like, when things are busy here, there's still bills. We still have fertilizer bills and seed bills and chemical bills and all of that, but like, our electric bill dropped in half. We don't have a feed bill anymore. Like, there's tons of bills that are gone. The vet's not here every month. So we don't miss the bills. I don't miss like the dairy industry just being hard for small farms. I don't miss the industry. There is nothing that would make me get back in the industry right now. Like, I'm glad we did it from that standpoint. So do I miss my cows? Yes. Do I miss dairy farming? No. As a result of that is also like the second question that I get asked a lot is, did you guys get beef cows or are you feeding heifers for somebody else? Currently the answer is no to both of those. We have no plans to feed heifers for anyone else, like custom grow heifers. That's not really, yes, we have the setup. But again, then like you have to be here every day. Your chores are still, like, there's cows to feed, there's barns to scrape, like that everyday chore grind is back. And when we are in the fields, that not having 2 to 3 hours of work that has to get done in the morning before we can start in the fields, that pressure or that 3 hours being gone has really changed our work day. So from that standpoint, like, no, we will not custom feed heifers for somebody else likely. Do we have beef cows? Are we finishing steers? Currently, the answer is no to both of those. Now, because I miss my cows, I would love to get like 10 beef cows just for fun, not anything serious, not any long-term plan with them, like just some cows for fun for me so that the kids have calves around, like no serious plans with the beef cows. And like, it's with the prices the way they are right now, like I don't want to go spend $5,000 on a bred cow. So at some point we will get some cows probably, but not right now. The third question I get asked a lot is, am I looking for a job or did I get a job? The answer to both of those is no. The point of selling the cows was so I had less to do, and getting a job doesn't really like fix that. Like, I would still have a lot to do. I sold the cows because I wanted to be a more intentional mom. I wanted to have more time with my kids. I already was very present in the crop side of our organization. And as my dad gets older, like I wanted to step into a position where I was also managing more of that for him. So no, there's no plans for me to get a job. I'm still on the farm full time. I obviously, like, it's slower, right? There's months where I'm not doing a lot besides office work and running spreadsheets and numbers, but it gives us a chance to know a lot more about our organization too. Maybe not know a lot more, but because we were already looking at a lot of that stuff, but we can dig a lot deeper into it. Like, we've already looked at our soybean yield maps and we're only 2 weeks post-harvest. Like, that's normally something that we're hitting in January because that's when you finally have time to look at them. So yeah, no job. Overall, like, we are very happy with this decision. I also get asked like what my dad and my grandpa are doing now. Grandpa is 85 and enjoying retirement, I think. The decision to sell the cows was probably the biggest for him because he felt a lot of guilt over not being able to be as actively involved with the cows. So just like the work dynamic had changed a lot as he started to get older, I guess you would say. So there was some, I think, guilt. I don't know if he would say it that way, but like, so it was a hard decision on him, but he's also happier now. Like, he can see that we're doing a better job with the crops. He is understanding that the industry is not great for small farms, and like, he's happy with the decision. What's my dad doing? Well, Dad's just happy the cows are finally gone. Like, he didn't love the cows ever, so he's just happy they're gone, I think. He's enjoying the slowdown too. Like, he's enjoying not having to be here every day as well. He enjoys that him and I can go do things for a longer period of time together. We took a summer vacation, him, myself, my in-laws, and my children, my husband. We all left and took a vacation together, and that is the first vacation my dad and I have taken together. Trying to do the math, in 15-ish years. So that felt really big, like, to be able to both be gone and just step away for a while, right? So my overall message, I guess, is like, yes, making that decision for the farm was really hard to change the dynamic of a multi-generational farm that had so many years and memories, infant structure, all of that wrapped up into the cows, right? Admitting that I needed to get out, that I couldn't do it anymore, was really hard. But on the other side of it, it's been beautiful. And the farm is still functioning. Like, we are very lucky that selling the cows did not mean we had to quit farming. So it wasn't like a either or for us. It was we can sell the cows and we keep farming. We were already diverse enough into cash crops that it wasn't an either or for us, thankfully. I understand if you are facing that either or, it makes it a bigger decision, hard decision. It's a hard decision when we have to like totally step away, right? But I think in agriculture, we wear our burnout like it's a badge. We are so proud that we work so hard, and we are so proud that we, grind away forever building this legacy for our kids. And that's great that you're building something for the next generation, 100%. But when I told my dad I wanted to come back to agriculture, when I told him I wanted to come back to the farm, he was mad because he wanted better for me. He wanted a better life. By making this intentional change to our farming dynamic, we have that better life and we have agriculture. So if you are at that burnt out, if you are a young parent, or not a young parent, but a parent of young kids, and you're just grinding away, you're missing your kid's childhood, that guilt's eating at you, I challenge you to find an and. Can you do both? Can you change something in your operation so that you can do both? Because at the end of the day, You can leave a legacy for your kids, but if you made them hate agriculture because you weren't there in the process, was the legacy worth leaving to them? Do you want your legacy to be land and assets and tractors and grain bins and irrigation, or do you want your legacy to be your children? Because it's a big difference on how you live your everyday. And I know it's hard. You have to really know your numbers to be able to make those decisions. But in today's economy, you should know those numbers anyways. You should be looking at how to get the best out of your operation. And more isn't always the best. I think that is enough of a soapbox for a Sunday afternoon. I want agriculture to survive, and I want everybody in agriculture to survive too. And if we keep down this path of we have to be the biggest and we have to be the best and we have to work the hardest and we have to always do more. More is great. It's harvest widow season, which I don't like the harvest widow term anyways, but if we keep priding ourselves on the fact that, oh, I've worked 20 hours today and I slept for 4 and I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it every day this month because it's harvest season. Cool. That's really cool that you did that, but why'd you do it? Who cared? Your wife wasn't happy. Your kids weren't happy. Your kids would have rather you sat down at the dinner table with them once a week. We can do better as an industry. I am doing better for my family because I wanted to be here. I could recognize that the path I was walking was not going to have me here. And if you are in that burnout point, you could be walking the same path where you're not going to be there for your family either. Whether that's because of mental, physical, your body's going to give out, who knows what the reason could be. Too tired is not healthy for long-term periods. And I feel like all of that turned into a rant that I did not intend it to be. I really just wanted to share where the farm was, answer some frequently asked questions I get, and go from there. And I guess, thank you if you watched it. I have so many friends who are so important to me that I can recognize the burnout on them, that I worry about because I know how it affected me. And I know that talking through those situations with them, being a listening ear when they need it, challenging their beliefs that because I've always done it this way, I have to always do it this way. Because I got into the industry this way, I have to keep doing it this way. Because my dad did it this way, and he was okay milking cows for 20 years, or he was okay doing this for X years. I should be okay too. It's okay if you're not. It's okay if you can't do what your parents did. It's okay if what worked for you 5 years ago isn't working anymore. It's okay if you need to change. Your life has value here beyond how many hours you can put in a tractor seat. Have a great week.